It's ladies, another episode, and we're back, honey. And we have a very good topic that we're going to share. All the topics this season are good, so you just don't want to miss any of them. But season 2 is off to a bang. We want to thank you for tuning in to our first episode on identity crisis. Man, we had so much fun recording that. Shanae is back with me, and we're talking about comparisonitis. That's right, baby. We're talking about how we compare ourselves and what we're comparing ourselves to and why are we comparing ourselves. We need to stop all of this. But again, I'm back. I'm Dr. Ace, the Global Mentor Coach, and I've got Shanae Jordan with me. That's right. This is our criminal justice graduate from Virginia Union. I keep saying that. It's been, how many years? It's been 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah, I think so.
Not lies, but anyway, she's joining me today. And we're just going to dig right into it because I'm telling you, this is a very good topic. And y'all ladies, we got to get better about comparing ourselves because we are beautiful in our skin as we are. Like, embrace it, honey, embrace it. We got to stop asking ourselves or saying to ourselves, "Ooh, I wish I was like that," or "Ooh, I wish I could do that." "Ooh, I wish. We'll wish ourselves away. And we got to stop that. So today, Shanae, we're just going to dig right into it because,
yeah,
I haven't met a woman yet who has not said, "I wish I could rock something like that," or, "I wish my hair was longer," or "I wish my hair was shorter," or, "I wish I could wear makeup like that," or "I wish I could do makeup like that," or "I wish I was creative like that," or "Ooh, I wish I could crunch numbers or analyze like that," or "If I thought like that." There's always something that we find in someone else that we like. And there's nothing wrong with admiring certain characteristics or certain attributes or certain things about another person, but it's when we start comparing ourselves to those things and we start wishing ourselves away and we start acting upon that it becomes toxic and bad for us. So what is comparisonitis to you? What does that look like to you? Because I've already said what it is to me, but what does that look like to you? What are your thoughts on comparisonitis?
I think it's when you constantly look at someone else's appearance.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at someone's personality, you're always saying, "Oh, I wish I could,"
Mm-hmm.
or "I wish that was me."
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that a lot. I wish that, like you said before, I wish I could wear that dress.
Right.
Or I wish I could cut my hair. I can't cut my hair because I have a big head, or I can't do long hair because I don't know how to maintain it. You're always looking at the latest trend.
Right.
You're always trying to find out what's new out there, so that way you can do it. So that way you can wear that outfit, or you can do that particular workout. So that way you can get your waist and your tummy the way everybody else is. And, you just constantly, just trying to be like someone else. And like you said, it's nothing wrong with it. You definitely should have role models or just a model to say, okay, she was comfortable. I could be comfortable. I've been thinking about that. But when you live, breathe, eat, and sleep other people's appearance or personality, that's when it becomes a problem because you're no longer you.
Right. And I think that's really good. And we've all kind of had experiences with comparisonitis. I know I have. A lot of women, a lot of people I talk to. So even men have comparisonitis.
Yes.
They may not admit it, but
they do.
They do. Just like men gossip, probably more than women. Don't let it fool you. But anyway, we're not talking about that today. But, we've all had issues with comparisonitis. Like I said, I'm very transparent. I have no problems letting you know I've had, suffer with self-esteem. We talked about that in the identity crisis video. But, a lot of our self-esteem issues and our identity crisis comes from how we compare ourselves to what we see and experience and encounter every day. A lot of times I'll say, "Ooh, I wish I could wear something like that with my back out." I went shopping one time. I think you guys were with me one time. I went shopping. I think I was in Torrid. And she gave me this dress or this shirt with the back out. Mm-hmm. And I was like, where I was in my life at the time, I was like, I got too much back fat for that. And she was like, "No, you have the perfect body," and blah, 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 blah. I was like, I got too much back fat for that. Because up here, I just didn't see that as appropriate for me. And she was like, "You know what? I think it'll be great, but if you don't feel confident in it, I don't want you to try it on. And she got me something else, because then I was a little bit more conservative, about my appearance and what I wore. Now, honey, give me a maxi dress with the back out, honey. I don't care. We gonna do that thing. Because it's confidence in your appearance, and they got shapewear, and I'm not talking about shapewear to waist train. I'm talking about shapewear to smooth out all those lumps so that the clothing can fit and hang the way it's supposed to. So there's ways to be able to embrace your curves. Right now, honey, I'm very curvy and I'm happy about my curves. I just want to be healthy in my curves.
Yeah.
Another topic. We're going to deal with that next week. But when it came to that, though, I found myself comparing myself to everybody, to a lot of people that didn't look like me. And I'm talking about skin color wise, shape wise, hair wise, all different ways, even to the point I didn't even like my nails, and my nails weren't bad, but I had to go and get false nails because I wanted my nails to look a certain way, and my hair had to be a certain way. Honey, I rocked a bob for a long time. Love me a good bob. Love cutting my hair off and wearing a short hairstyle, and then it kind of became a thing of stop cutting your hair. So now I have long hair, but if I want a short look, honey, she'll slap on the wig in a minute and have no problem letting this is the wig, because what she ain't doing is cutting her hair anymore. I'm not gonna do that. But and sometimes I get tempted, like, man, that's a good hairstyle, man, I want to rock that. But then I get the wake up call and revelation that I don't want to put in that work when I cut my hair. And I don't want to go through that awkward stage of my hair growing and all this kind of stuff. And it's a lot, oh, you can get a sew in, do a protective style. And it's like, I've never been one for trends. So people will try to convince me. I've had hairstylists convince me that you can rock a natural, you can wear your natural hair, blah, blah, blah. But that's not me. That might be fine. That's not me. I'll tell anybody in a minute, I'm on a creamy crack for life. Everybody doing naturals, and every now and then, like, I'm going through a phase now where I'm giving my hair a break from chemicals, and that's healthy. That's something you should do, and that's how my hair constantly grows, because I'm my scalp and all those chemicals are not on my hair, and that includes hair color. And I want to color my hair right now. I really do, but I'm really wanting to get the strength and everything back in my hair. But trust me, she's going back to the creamy crack. She will be going back to the creamy crack. But if I allow myself to compare myself to other women who, like, man, she is rocking that afro, man, she is rocking that natural, she's rocking this, she's rocking that, then it will make me feel some type of way about who I am. And a lot of times, you have to ask yourself, how did I get here? How do I get to the point to where I'm constantly comparing myself? And you keep comparing yourself, eventually you'll start making changes, and then you won't know who you are after that. So what have been some of your experiences with comparisonitis? And, did you ever think, how did you get here? How did I get to this point to where I've lost myself because I'm constantly comparing myself?
I've always compared myself. I mean, I think now I've gotten to the point where I'm okay with who I am. Right. And I think it also came with me getting older, in age and stuff, and to where it's like, okay, this is how I am, so whatever. Right. But it was times when I was trying to figure out who I was before I went to college, and I always wanted to wear the latest stuff. My hair I had to have weave. A lot of people don't know now, but I used to be the weave queen. I mean, I had it all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I had it all.
Yes,
I had braids. I had wigs. I had trags. I had the quick weaves. I had it all.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
I did.
And it couldn't be the cheap one either, because she got sensitive skin.
Oh, no.
Ain't that with jewelry. She can't wear nothing with nickel. She can't wear nothing with all of this. So it's always like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
She got disposable income.
Right. I had to, because I didn't want to look like I didn't have anything. I didn't want to look like, that I didn't want to be the subject of topic for people, for my peers. And I think that's what it really is for a lot of people. They don't want to be that subject. They want to, fit in with everybody. So that way, if I look like everybody else, then they're not going to talk about me. Right. And so that was my thought. So at one point I was like, actually in my dorm room time, I was having a conversation with my roommate and my best friend, and I was just like, why am I like this? Why do I always, because I was actually going to go to the hair store, and I was like, why do I always want to get another wig? Like, why do we have to always go to the store and find the latest, shoes or shirt? I was never a sneakerhead, but I had to have at least the name brand clothes to fit in. Right. And we had a discussion about it. Right. And so yes, I've been in a place there. I mean, I've been in my own personal bubble where it's like I felt depressed because I felt like I did not fit in. No matter what I did, somebody was saying somebody. And so it can get depressing. It can get real sad. You can feel lonely, even still trying to look like someone else.
You said that was extremely powerful, and I really think we need to hit on it, and it is basically not wanting to be the subject of ridicule. Comparisonitis really puts us in a position, it's really about caring too much about what other people think about us.
Yes. Yeah.
It really is. And one of the things we have to do, especially women, we got to be free from other people. And that's hard to do. We got to be delivered and free from people. And that means not caring too much about what other people think, not to the point that we're disrespectful.
Yeah.
Not to the point that we're lashing out, but to the point that we can say, you know what, I respect your opinion of me, but it doesn't matter because your opinion of me is not paying my bills.
Right.
Please and thank you.
Right.
But be able to be confident enough in yourself to say, I really don't care what other people think. My style is my style. There are some people who are stuck in the pinup 50s look. They like it. That's their style. It works for them. That don't mean it's going to work for you, boo. Don't mean it's going to work for you. The other thing is just because they make it in your size don't mean you need to buy it and wear it. Why? Because you can be confident all you want, but if half your hiney is showing and I can see your underwear, the people don't need to see that's too much. So I think some people take things to the extreme, to the point to where they don't care what other people think, but it becomes toxic. It's not healthy. And then there are people who don't care what other people think, and it's like, they have a good balance between who they are, because again, it points back to their identity. They know who they are. They know what they want to be. It's like, I know what my brand is. People think of a brand as only in business, but I know what my brand is, meaning I know who I am as LaTanya. I know what my values are, and I know what I want to reflect. I know what colors that I like to wear, what colors look good on me, what don't look good on me. And, for the longest time, my best friend, her mother, would not let me, when we go shopping, she would not let me buy certain colors. She was like, I need you to have color. If you buy at least 3 colors, you can buy this one color, right? My color was very mono. My closet was monochrome. It was black, navy blue, brown. It was gray. It was traditional business because that's how I was brought. My wardrobe was all professional, and that's all it was. And so breaking out of that, because I had been disciplined and accustomed to that for so long, breaking out of that, it was just like,
yeah.
But now it's just like, honey, I can see something black as a staple, but I need some yellow, I need some pink, I need some orange, I need some blue, I need some, bright. And if I get blue, I need to get a bright blue, or, like Carolina blue or something like that, or turquoise, honey. But, you want to, I had to get out of that because that was what I was used to.
Yeah.
And sometimes now that I figured out my identity and it's just like, and every now and then I have to remind myself, because like you said, you will get depressed, and it's okay, just don't stay there. Feel how you feel, but just don't stay there. And when I feel that coming on, I have all these affirmations. I have all these different things to remind myself who I am. I have my journals and I pull them out and I read my journals. Yes, I journal, may not be consistently, but I journal. I write down my thoughts. I write down positive things about myself to get me back to who I am whenever I get off track, because life inundates you.
Yeah.
I don't care. You can cut the TV off. You can cut social media off, but it don't matter if you're going to the mall, you're going for a walk, you're going to the gym, you're at the beach. Comparisonitis will hit you because at the end of the day, unless you're a hermit, and that's not good for anybody, you're going to see stuff. You're going to see things, and and like I say, it's nothing wrong with admiring people. You just don't want to compare yourself. And I do sometimes find it difficult to not compare myself to other people, because in our minds, we have a concept of what we want to look like. I know I do. And one thing I used to say all the time, people would be like, why are you working out? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing? Because I want to look good naked. And it don't matter if I'm looking good. I'm being transparent. If I don't like what I see before I put clothes on, I'm going to still see that same image when I put clothes on.
Yep.
So then I'm not projecting confidence. So, it takes time. You have to change how you see yourself. Comparisonitis is nothing but a mental mind game. It's how you see yourself. It's mental. And how you see yourself, then the rest of you follow. So what from you, what was it about yourself that pushed you to compare yourself to others? And do you find it difficult to not compare yourself to other people?
What pushed myself was being talked about. I didn't like it. It's very uncomfortable.
Right.
It is very heartbreaking, especially if you're being talked about from your crush. Your crush is talking about you, or if it's a group of females that you wouldn't mind being a part of, and in the inner circle, and they're talking about you. I didn't want that to happen. Now I've been talked about practically all my life.
Right.
So it pushed me to say, okay, well, if I look like them, or if I look like somebody that they don't talk about, then then I'll be okay. I will be fine. So that's what pushed me to do that. And what was the next question? I'm sorry.
Do you find it difficult to not compare yourself to other people, and why?
I do sometimes. At this point in my life, I do still compare myself, but I think it's more in a healthier way.
Okay.
It's more of, okay, now I see that she can wear that, and I'm like, okay, I can wear that. I could try that on, or I don't mind going to the store and trying something on, trying a dress on, or trying a particular type of style of pants, because now we got different pants, high waisted, we got low riders, we got skinny, boot cut, we got it all.
Makes your head hurt.
Right. So I don't mind doing that. Or when now, my family and I, we go and we work out, we'll walk around the neighborhood. We're doing like exercises, and it's not to look like anybody else, but it's just like you said, I want to feel good naked.
Right.
It's a summertime. I want to be able to wear a 2-piece or even a 1-piece,
right,
and still feel sexy,
right,
still feel cute, still feel beautiful. So now it's more healthy. It's
right,
not just to impress anybody else. As long as I know I look good,
right,
I'm fine.
Right.
I don't care what nobody else say now.
And I love what you say here. It's about a healthy approach to it. It's not taking it to the extreme. It's a good balance. It's okay. It's like seeing it as motivation.
Yeah.
It's like I see something that's motivating to me. If this person can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
If this person can wear that, I know I can wear this that I've been thinking about, but just haven't had the confidence to, or boldness to step into that thing. And I think that's very important. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to continue talking about this important topic of comparisonitis and how it's really shaping us, and where does comparisonitis come from? What are some external influences? We'll be back after this short commercial break. so much for tuning in with us in our season 2 show of Ladies. Today we're talking about comparisonitis. I got Shanae Jordan with me, and I'm telling you, y'all, this is some good stuff. Today, there are a lot of external factors of when it comes to how we see ourselves and comparisonitis especially. And y'all know I love talking about the media and society because it really does. They have a huge impact on just about everything we say and do, all of our experiences. They're influencing us. The internet, especially the internet, honey. Everybody got 5 minutes of fame. You just blow up. Everybody's looking to be an internet sensation, and it's often at the expense of other people. So, and I think that's a big influence as to why people can't be free of other people and why we're constantly comparing ourselves, because they're shaping our reality. And the sad thing is they're shaping our reality around sound bites. So a lot of times we are comparing ourselves to sound bites, which often is a lie. It's a fabrication. It's a figment of our imagination. We think this person is like this. We think this is what their life is like, but it's only based off of a clip. Unless you're spending time with them on a consistent basis, you don't really know what this person is like. You can watch these videos and think I'm one way, but honey, until you get to know me, you don't know. You have no idea what I'm like. You don't know how goofy I am, especially when I'm sleeping. You don't know how goofy I am. You know what I mean? You don't know how serious I get about certain stuff, especially when it comes to injustice. Like I get a whole different, I think I turn a different shade. My voice changes because I'm very passionate about it. You don't know, the soft side of me, because I have a big voice and I carry a big stick, but there's a soft side of me. And my sister will tell you she's a big softie. Don't let her bark, get you. I have a good bite, but don't let her bark get you. No, she'll tell you I'm a big softie. I really am. But you have to get to know me to see the soft side of me. But honey, let me go into prayer. We're going in. Might be 2 hours. We're going in, but we're going to hit some things and we're going to get some results. You see, again, clips of a person's life. You don't really know the total person. You only get a little bit. And so it's sad that we're comparing ourselves to little clips of people. And, I personally think, we're seeing too much negative. So it negatively influences how people view relationships, how people view themselves, how people view a lot of different things, and why we compare ourselves, because they're giving us a model. But the model, the new norm or the new model is not always good, again, because it's what's selling. What's selling?
Yeah. What's
selling? Waist training is selling. You got to have the perfect waist. You got to have the perfect, measurements. You got to have that 36, 24, 36. You got to have that winning hand, honey. You going to the brick house in the Commodore age. You gotta have this. And if your hair is not this, and if your nails are not that, and nowadays it's like, they doing the claws thing. Like Catwoman. I don't find that attractive. And actually a lot of men I've talked to is like, I need y'all to stop that. Like I need y'all to stop that. But that's another trend. That trend has come back. Makeup is different now. So you got the highlight, you got a contour, and the eyeshadow can't come all the way up to the eyebrows like it used to in the 80s and back in the day. And now you have to blend, and you got to blend all the way down here, which I think it always was, when people weren't doing that. They had that line going. Anyway. And now you got men in the man romper and the romping. And now I saw a video of a man actually having his beard flat ironed.
Yeah, I saw that.
So now we think this is okay. That video had over 1 million views. Good, bad, or indifferent. But now we're seeing a lot of these different trends, and we want this. So people go out there and get this stuff. Who was the rapper or whatever that came out and he had the hair conked out and curled like he was back in the 50s, and it was all flipped up and curled and all this? And people, I think
that was Young Jock.
The internet has no chill. They went in. But guess who followed? You had artists like Jaheim started doing it. And now you're seeing all these different things where men are, you know, getting relaxers in their hair and they're going to these, you know, all this other different kind of stuff. And, you know, it's what's influence. But do you need to do that? Like, why are you following who and what is your brand? Because when I see that, I want to know, who are you? What is your brand? So again, it's just these little things of what's happening. But we see the same thing with women. You know, whatever Kim Kardashian do, a lot of people going out there doing whatever the Kardashian sisters doing. That's what they're doing. So now, you know, I got to wear Balmain because that's what they wear. And I got to wear this and I got to wear that. And I've got to wear this kind of shoe and that kind of shoe. And, you know, we got Marjorie Harvey and we got Lori Harvey. And we've got all of these different people who are setting a standard, you know, for what, you know, fashion and all this other kind of stuff. And that's great. But one of the messages I like that Marjorie Harvey, she usually says, is you have to find what works for you. Just because this is a trend doesn't mean that it's for you. That may not fit who you are. Everybody has their own style. Doesn't matter what size you are. Everybody has their own style. You just have to fit your style and keep working it, because let's be honest, fashion, it comes back around. It just recycles. It just recycles. I mean, rompers and jumpers was in when I was a little girl. I stayed in a romper and a jumper when I was a little girl. Well, I mean, constantly. If there was one in the store, I wanted my mom to buy me one. That's what I stayed in. You know, the tube tops and all that. I stayed in that as a kid. You know, some stuff it recycles. But what are your thoughts on how media and society, the internet, whatever, influences how we compare ourselves? Or is it an influencer? Is it really our responsibility, you know, as it relates to how we see ourselves and what we do with that information?
I think it go both ways. I think it could definitely be an influence, but I also think it's how you perceive it and how you take it. What stage of life? What are you mentally? How are you mentally accepting or viewing what's being out there? Because, you know, the quote that Ms. Harvey said, you know, you have to figure out what works for you.
Right.
I mean, I've tried a lot of things. Me, a romper, I really don't like it. I mean, I don't like the whole nakedness under. It's not me.
You got to go to the bathroom. You got to take the whole thing out.
Yeah, I'm a germaphobe. I just see, that's not for me.
Well, you know your limits, and that's good. That you know your limits, honey.
Right. And so, you know, I just and with the whole makeup thing, yes, some of the makeups will be cute. I mean, they be cute. But at the same time, I think it's a time and a place when to really put on that makeup, you know, put on. And a lot of people say it's a mask. Some people say, you know, have self-esteem. I don't think it's all of that. I just think it's the different stage of life, because, you know, there's times where I want to put on makeup, you know, and I want to doll myself up. It's not because I have low self-esteem. You know, it's just because it goes with my outfit. The place that I'm going calls for, you know, a little makeup, you know, look really nice. So yes, I do think it does influence, because you have people who take it really seriously. If you're not wearing the latest trend, or if you're wearing it, but you ain't wearing it right, you're not wearing it to other people's standards. Right. So the trends can make or break you. Right. I really think so. I really think it can. And you would think, oh, I'm wearing it, so I'm good. No, but according to everybody else, you're not wearing it right, and they'll talk about you. They'll make a song about it. They'll make a video, memes. Oh my God, yes. Memes are out of control.
Yes.
So, you know, so I think it's just how you perceive, or your perspective of the trends. But at the same time, you know, not just the social media, but family, your friends can also dictate, you know, and you can compare yourself to them, you know, because if you have sisters and brothers and, you know, saying they're wearing a certain way, they look a certain way, but you have other family members who think you're the outcast, that can also hurt you. Right. You know, that can also make or break you. Or this type of circle that you are hanging around can also make or break you. If you're the outcast of that circle, you know what I'm saying, they can try to make you over and, you know, maybe turn to something that you're not, and you're uncomfortable. I'm not that type of person. Right. So why, you know, do I have to fit in with you on your standards when I'm just me? So it's I think it's a lot of influences. I think it just depends on where you are in your life, who you're around, what you're actually looking at. Yeah, so it's a lot of different influences out there.
I agree. And I love that you pull in family, because that's true. Family, friends, your social circle, the community that you live in. A lot of these, there are a lot of external forces outside of the internet, outside of what you see on television. That includes Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, whatever Fires, all of that. We have a lot of pressure. From people. At the end of the day, we just have to be free from people, but we have to have a healthy response to what we see again. Do we use these as motivators, or are they negative triggers? It really is how we view it. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we're going to wrap up this important topic. Thanks so much for tuning in. This great topic on comparisonitis. And a lot of times it is very difficult not to compare ourselves to what we see, because and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a matter of, are we doing it to be the best version of ourselves possible? Are we using it to motivate ourselves? Are we using it as inspiration and empowerment? Are we using it as encouragement? Are we using it to tear ourselves down? I think that's what matters. It's how we are using the information, because that's all it is. Comparisonitis, we're gathering information about someone in our minds. We're chewing on it, and we're thinking about it as it relates to who we are as a person, rather than saying, okay, this is good, that's cute, that's a good idea, that's good inspiration for me, I'm working on this project, man, you just gave me good motivation to keep moving forward, or to keep at working out, or keep doing this, or keep doing that. It's how we use that information that matters, that shapes our view. So, I want to ask you, at what point do we say enough is enough and disconnect from all of the social pressures, not just from the media, but from social pressures to compare ourselves? Or is it even their responsibility? I think it's our responsibility to be honest, but at what point do we do it? At what point is enough enough? Where is that, line drawn? Or how do we change the narrative in our minds about comparisonitis? Are we using it to its furthest good, or are we using it to its furthest evil or bad? And if we're using it to its furthest bad, meaning that leads us into depression, and we're doing all these things, like Joan Rivers, for instance. I think she suffered from comparisonitis. This woman, she had a lot of plastic surgery. She was very open about her plastic surgery. She even said one time she didn't know what her real face looked like, because she had so much surgery. And it's unfortunate her last surgery is what really sent her into eternity. But when you look at old pictures of somebody, and it's sad that this stuff surfaced after she passed away, but when you look at it, she was so beautiful as she was. But there was something in her that she saw that she didn't like, so she started doing a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there, till she had a completely new face. And she will tell you, nothing on this face is real. Nothing on this face is mine. Nothing on this face is da-da-da-da-da. But what was she comparing herself to? At what standard did she believe that she had to make all these changes? And a lot of times that's what we do. We see people getting butt injections. We see people waist training. We see people getting breast implants. And I'm not talking about people who have had their breast surgically removed for breast cancer, and they get it so that they can feel like a woman. Just like a man last year or 2 years ago had the first penis I guess I don't want to say replacement, but enhancement, but because he had cancer, and he had to have his removed, and so he had a penis implant because his had to be gone because of cancer. I'm not talking about when you have these things because for medical purposes. I'm talking about when we're doing things to ourselves, surgically enhancing ourselves because we're trying to live up to a standard of beauty, or we're trying to live up to a standard of something that has, you know, a seed has been planted in our mind. It came from somewhere. Stuff doesn't just, we don't just start saying we want to do stuff to ourselves for nothing. It doesn't come just from anywhere. It comes from comparing ourselves. It comes from seeing stuff. So at what point do we say enough is enough? Or is there ever a point where enough is enough?
That's a good question. It's a really good question. I think it starts with you,
right?
With that person. I mean, no one can really help you or tell you in a sense that, okay, enough is enough. You need to stop looking at these people.
Right.
Because they could tell you, or you can agree with them at that moment. You can have a come to Jesus moment and you can say, oh yeah, you're right. You know, I'm going to do it. But then when you're by yourself, then what? You know, when you're in a place where there's nobody around, then what? I think you have to come to accept yourself and say, you know what, this is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I'm going to be. This is what I like.
Right.
I mean, some people don't like the latest trend. Some people just like just shopping at thrift stores, or just shopping,
right.
At the mall and just getting whatever's on sale. Right. I know a girl, I just like what's on sale. So if it's on sale, I'm gonna get it because I like bargain shopping.
Right.
Or I just want to look good because I'm into bodies. So I'm into body sculpting. I'm into eating healthy.
Right.
That's what I'm into.
Right.
So I think it comes to a point where you have to decide, okay, do I want to risk my insanity, my mental state to keep up? Do I want to risk, finance my finances on, keeping up with the latest trend? Right. Or do I just really want to be myself? And then there's some people out there who are so far gone, who, have been doing it for so long, right. and they're okay with it, that it's like, this is normal to me.
Right.
This is just who I am, and I'm okay with it. And then, I don't want to say that they use it as an excuse. But sometimes it's like, oh, well, this is who I am. Accept me for who I am. Mm. I want to accept you for who you are, but if who I see is not, what I've seen before, or, so I've seen it before, then it's like, that's not really you. Right. That's not who you are. So I don't think it's based upon being free and being, just free spirited. But if that's not who you are, then how can I accept what you're giving me? When and I know that underneath the makeup, underneath the clothes, underneath all that stuff, when you go to bed at night, you're doing a ritual of what you used to do, because then the next day you have to put on the mask and you have to put on the costume of someone else, because something has happened in the past. Something has been going on constantly with you. You've had people talk about you. You have had, your family members walk out on you, or you just don't feel like you can be free because you're intimidated. You're scared what some people are going to say, if they even said anything. Right. So I think it's you. You have to come to a point. Well, not you per se, but the person has to come to a point where they can say, you know what, I can be free. I can be who I am and don't care, because people gonna talk about you either way. Right. It doesn't matter. I mean, look at people that's famous. Right. They can wear anything, they can do anything, but they still gonna get talked about. Somebody don't like something they did or said or whatever.
And some of them need to
right. Right.
And I think a lot of it is, I honestly believe, I think some of them do it for shock value. And, hey, but I like something that you said about, really just, it's about you and being true to your identity. And so many people, I don't think people understand who they are, which is why they're building so much of a facade. And it's like, I like you said, I can't accept this because you don't even believe what you're putting out. You don't even believe what you're projecting. I had a friend once who, when I first met, we first connected back again, went to high school together. She said, and I asked her why she was, a lot of stuff she was doing. She was like, I believe in body modification. I just stretching my ears, and I want my ear to get to a certain point, and I want this and I want that. And I was like, oh, okay. So some people believe that was her brand. That's who she was. Her identity was, she was into body modification. If you can explain it to me, I may not get it. I may not understand it, but as long as you understand it and you can explain and communicate that, I'm fine with, but again, it's like, you want me to buy what you're selling, but you're not even convinced what you're selling as a person. Like, who are you? Can you communicate what your value statement is? Like, who are you and what do you want the world to believe about yourself? If you cannot answer that question, you have comparisonitis, and you 9 times out of 10, you really don't know who you are. And that's born out of you comparing yourself, and you're pulling bits and pieces. And if I find that you're pulling, and if your statement is you're pulling bits and pieces from this person's life and this person's life and this person's life and this person's life and this person's life, again, you still don't know who you are. You're comparing yourself and you're trying to make a composite of yourself. Life is not being a clone of anybody else. This is not, you're not Frankenstein. You're not meant to pull bits and pieces from other people to create one thing. You're meant to be you. And I think part of why we compare ourselves, why we have issues with identity, why we do a lot of things that we do, is because we're afraid of who we really are under the surface. Beyond the makeup, beyond the skin color, beyond the hair, beyond the nails, beyond the clothes, the jewelry, beyond the money, beyond the family. Who are you other than somebody's wife, other than somebody's mother, other than somebody's employee, other than somebody's businesswoman, other than somebody's prayer partner, prayer warrior, whatever? Who are you? And that is the question so many of us need to answer. And it requires us to be still. It requires us to look in the mirror and be honest with ourselves, brutally honest, and transparent with ourselves. I think sometimes looking in the mirror, we think there's an audience looking in the mirror with us, because we've compared ourselves so much, and we've pulled so many bits and pieces of people that audience is constantly with us, when it's like, it's time to take off all of that.
Yep.
And look in the mirror. And it's so hard to do. And ask ourselves, who am I? Like, under all of this, who am I? What do I believe? And I'm not talking about what do I believe about this topic or that topic. You can get to that later. But what do I believe as an individual? What's my belief system? What do I value? What's important to me? If I were to die today, what do I want people to say about me and who I am or who I was as a person? Meaning, how did I treat people?
Right.
When people pass away, there's somebody can say, one thing about it, you never saw this person without this. This person always wore a white suit. This person always did this. This person, why? Because that was who they were. That was their identity. That was their authentic self. Somebody may say they have perfect teeth. This person always flossed, and they always had some floss with them. Or, this person always had this. This person always had a kind word. This person was always giving. This person was always this. That's who they were. That was their identity. Figure out who you are at your core. What is, I like to use the love languages by Gary Chapman, because at the end of the day, love languages are not just for intimate relationships. It's for how we interact with people every single day. It's how we spread love and light, how we are, leaving our footprint in the world to make an impact on people. So what's your unique love language? It might be quality time. It might be touch. So if you got to touch people, shake hands, hug people. That, she always hugged people. She loved to hug people. She loved to shake hands with people. She loved to, give massages, do people's hair, do people's nails, this person is a giver. This person, this person liked to serve. This person was very kind. There's lots of different love languages. Learn the different 5 love languages by Gary Chapman. I'm telling you, subscribe to his newsletter. I do. And it just tells you just different ways to practically show love to people on your job, in your home, in your everyday life. Just practical ways to demonstrate the different love languages. I'm telling you, if you learn those love languages, you'll figure out who you are as a person. Just start right there. Just start right there. And start treating people in that, just start demonstrating the way that you like to be loved. And I guarantee you'll figure out who your authentic self is. And that will keep you from comparing yourself to other people, or comparing yourself to other people to the point that you want to be like them, rather than using it as motivation to say, man, I love that this person is very authentic and true to who they are. That just motivates me to keep being who I am. I think that is where you draw the line on comparisonitis, and where you say enough is enough, to where you can say, I can either use this to my advantage to let it motivate me and encourage me and empower me, or I can use this and let it dictate who I am as a person, which may not be a good thing, because I might start getting into body modification. I might get into this and do that and to where I don't know who I am anymore. And now I'm not happy because I don't know who I am anymore. I'm doing everything else to please everybody else. Because like you said, I don't want nobody talking about me.
Yep.
I don't want to be the source of ridicule. But you know, all great people are talked about. That means, you know what, somebody talking about me, praise God. That means I'm on your mind.
Right.
I'm so wonderful that you can't do nothing else but talk about me.
Yep.
And, you know, and for some of you who want to aspire to be a celebrity, you got to get used to people talking about you.
Yep.
Because if they ain't got nothing else better to do, they're going to make something else up off of a soundbite of what they think your life is like. Happens all the time. And so, you know, hey, Shanae, what are your closing thoughts today on comparisonitis? I've given my spiel.
I just want to encourage those that are going through it to really take the time to answer that question.
Right.
Who am I?
Right.
You can write it down if you don't feel comfortable, you know, looking at yourself and talking in the mirror. I've done it before. It is kind of weird, but, you know, I mean, it is necessary. It really is, because only you can answer that question. And, you know, if you are looking at other people and comparing yourself, try to transition that into it being healthy, for motivation, for encouragement, for inspiration, and not to dictate who you are to the point where you lose yourself. Because once you lose yourself, nobody can tell you who you are, because then you're always going to say, well, that's not me. That's not how I do it. And you become defensive of when someone says, okay, well, that's who she is, or that's who he is. And you're like, no, it's not. But if you don't show, if you don't live, believe, see who you are, then you will constantly be defending yourself every chance that you can get. Right. So I do encourage you guys to motivate yourself, you know, to do what you like to do. Who cares if nobody else like it? So they don't have to do it. They don't have to go through it. They don't have to wear it. They don't have to see it, speak it, smell it, whatever. That's right. Who you are. So take the time out for yourself. Take the time out to just love on yourself and just to really find out who you really are. I can, from my testament, once I stopped wearing weave, I became me. Literally me. It's to the point now I don't want hair. Later on today I'm getting my hair cut. I don't want hair. People may say, "Oh, your hair is fine." No, it's not. I don't want no hair, because that wasn't me at that time. Was that me? I could say it was. Being honest, at that time I really felt like that was me, because that's who I portrayed myself as, the weave queen. I had everything, you know, the latest trend, but it had to be the right price. Now it can be cheap. but that's who I was at that time. But now I'm free. I'm okay with no hair. I'm okay with not, you know, having the latest bob or the latest bundle. I'm okay. It's too hot for that. Even in winter, it's still too hot for that. So, you know, once you know, really find out and you're free from everybody else's opinion, everybody else's thoughts, then you will become who you are, and you will not apologize for who you are. Right. I don't apologize. I'm not going to say, I'm sorry for not wearing weave. Mm-hmm. No, I'm okay. I'm okay with it. My boyfriend's okay with it. So,
right.
Yeah. So I just encourage you guys just to really find yourself, be true to yourself, because can't nobody do you like you. Nobody. So yeah, that's my love and light moment.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Ladies. This is our second season. We're excited to be back. We got some great topics, and today we really tackled the issue of comparisonitis and how we take information about other people and really kind of take it upon ourselves and use it. Mm-hmm. And the big thing here is to make sure you're using that information for good and not for evil. I used to tell people all the time, I use my powers for good and not for evil. And it's the same thing. You want to use the information that you get from other people, that you're gathering about other people, and use it for good. Use it to empower you. Use it to motivate you. Don't use it to beat yourself down, because there's only one you. And I want to encourage you not to rob the world of your unique essence of who you are. Because when you do that, then the world becomes pretty boring, because all we have is a bunch of people saying and doing the same thing. And we weren't born to be robots. This is not a factory. We're not, kind of chucking out the same thing. Like Shanae said, just embrace you, honey. Whereas no hair, short hair, long hair, none of it cares, honey. Whether it's long nails, short nails, real nails, fake nails, doesn't matter. Makeup, no makeup, doesn't matter. Big boob, small boob, doesn't matter. Big hips, no hips, doesn't matter. Waist train, no train, doesn't matter. Pear shape, round shape, Coke bottle, doesn't matter. Be you. Embrace you. Find out who you are. Love you. And share everything about who you are. And I'm not talking about just let it all hang out. But I'm saying your unique essence, your personality, what makes you you. Don't deprive the world of that, because we need you. Yes. The world needs all of us. Yeah. So thanks for tuning in with us, and we'll be back next week with another episode. So stay tuned, catch up on all of our other shows on our YouTube channel, Magnificent International Incorporated. And as always, we're encouraging you to spread lots of love and light. Until next time, thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.